Let us continue reading this book, Daniel and Revelation by URIAH Smith. Our Father in heaven, holy indeed is your name. Thank you for your faithfulness, for the grace you have extended to us. May we be truthful and firm in these last days. I pray in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen. Let us continue reading Revelation chapter 21, verse 1, the New Jerusalem. URIAH Smith wrote, the burden of this chapter, commencing with verse number 2, is the New Jerusalem. But before that is introduced, John tells us how the present heaven and earth and sea are to be disposed of as follows. Verse number 1, and I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. New heaven and new earth, according to URIAH Smith, by the first heaven and the first earth, John unquestionably means the present heaven and earth. The heavens and the earth which are now. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 7. Some have supposed that when the Bible speaks of the third heaven, in which are paradise and the tree of life, 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 2, Revelation chapter 2, verse 7, it refers to the heaven which is yet future, and does not prove that there is a paradise and tree of life, literally, in existence in heaven at the present time. They base their views on the fact that Peter speaks of three heavens and earths. 1, those before the flood. 2, the ones which now are. And 3, the ones which are to come. But that theory is completely overturned by the first verse of Revelation 21. For John here reckons but 2 heavens and earths. The ones which now are, he calls the first, so that the future new heavens would, according to this count, be the second and not the third, as Peter reckons. Hence, it is certain that Peter did not design to establish a numerical order, in accordance with which we should speak of the one as the first, and the other as the second, and the last as the third. The object of his reasoning was simply to show that as a literal heaven and earth succeeded to the destruction of the earth by the flood, so a literal heaven and earth would result from the renovation of the present system by fire. There is no proof, therefore, that the Bible, when it speaks of the third heaven, refers simply to the third state of the present heavens and earth, for then all the Bible writers would uniformly have so reckoned it. Thus, the arguments of those who would endeavor to disprove the idea of a literal paradise and tree of life in existence at the present time fall to the ground. The Bible certainly recognizes 3 heavens in the present constitutions of things, namely the first, or atmospheric heaven, which the fowls of the air inhabit, the second, the planetary heaven, the region of the sun, moon, and stars, and the third high above the others, where paradise and the tree of life are found, Revelation chapter 2, verse 7. Where God has his residence and his throne, Revelation 22, 1 and 2, to which Paul was caught up in the heavenly vision, 2 Corinthians 12, verse 2, to which Christ ascended when he left the earth, Revelation 12, verse 5, where he now, as priest king, sits upon the throne with his fathers, Zechariah 6, verse 13, and where the glorious city stands, awaiting the saints when they enter into life, Revelation 21, verse 2. Blessed be God that from that bright land intelligence has been brought to us to this far-off worlds of ours. And thanks be to his holy name that a way has been opened from the dark places of earth, which leads like a straight and shining path of light up to those blessed abodes. The sea no more. Because John says, and there was no more sea, the question is sometimes asked, is there then to be no sea in the new earth? It does not certainly follow from this text that there will be none, for John is speaking only in the present heaven and earth and sea. It might be translated thus, for the first heaven, the first earth were passed away, and the sea was no more. That is, the old sea no longer appeared, any more than the old heaven and old earth. And yet there may be a new sea as there is a new earth. Dr. Clark says on this passage, the sea no more appeared than did the first heaven and earth. All was made new. And probably the new sea occupied a different position and was differently distributed from that of the old sea. The river of life, which we read in the following chapter, proceeding from the throne of God and flowing through the broad street of the city, must find some place into which to discharge its waters. And what can that be but the new earth sea? That there will be a sea or seas in the new earth may be inferred from the prophecy which speaks of Christ's future reign as follows. And his dominion shall be from sea even to sea, and from the river even to the ends of the earth. Zechariah chapter 9, verse 10. But that 3/4 of the globe will then, as now, be abandoned to a waste of waters cannot be expected. The new world will have everything which will contribute to its utility and beauty. We'll read the next verses next time. May God our Father continue to bless you, and his Son be gracious to you, now and forevermore. Amen.